This is chapter 6 of White Noise by DeLillio. Here we go. Henrik's hairline is beginning to recede. I wondered about this. Does his mother consume some kind of gene-piercing substance when she was pregnant? Am I at fault somehow? Have I raised him unwittingly in the victim of a chemical dump site in the path of air currents that carry industrial waste capable of producing scalp degeneration, glorious sunsets? People say the sunset around here were not nearly so stunning 30 or 40 years ago. Man's guilt in history and in the tides of his own blood has been complicated by technology. The daily seeping, false-hearted death. The boy is 14, often invasive and moody, at other times disturbingly compliant. I have a sense that his ready yielding to our wishes and demands is a private weapon of reproach. Babette is afraid he will end up in a barricaded room, spraying hundreds of rounds of automatic fire across an empty mall before the SWAT team comes for him with their heavy-barreled weapons, their bullhorns, and body armor. It's going to rain tonight. It's raining now, I said. The radio said tonight. I drove him to school on his first day back after the sore throat and a fever. A woman in a yellow slicker held up traffic to let some children cross. I pictured her in a soup commercial taking off her oilskin hat as she entered the cheerful kitchen where her husband stood over a pot of smoky lobster bisque, and a smallish man with 6 weeks to live. Look at the windshield, I said. Is that rain or isn't it? I'm only telling you what they said. Just because it's on the radio doesn't mean we have to suspend belief in the evidence of our senses. Our senses are wrong a lot more often than right. This has been proven by the laboratory. Don't you know about all those theorems that say nothing is what it seems? There's no past, present, or future outside our own mind. The so-called laws of motion are a big hoax. Even sound can trick the mind. Just because you don't hear a sound doesn't mean it's not out there. Dogs can hear it, other animals, and I'm sure that other sounds even dogs can't hear. But they exist in the air in waves. Maybe they never stop. High-pitched, coming from somewhere. Is it raining, I said, or isn't it? I wouldn't want to have to say. What if someone held a gun to your head? Who? You? Someone. A man in a trench coat or smoky glasses. He holds a gun to your head and says, is it raining or isn't it? And all you have to do is tell the truth, and I'll put away my gun and take the next flight out of here. What truth does he want? Does he want the truth of someone traveling at almost the high speed of light in another galaxy? Does he want the truth of someone in an orbit around a neutron star? Maybe if the people could see us through a telescope, we might look like we are 2 feet, 2 inches tall, and it might be raining yesterday instead of today. He's holding the gun to your head. He wants our truth. I'm so sorry. He wants your truth. What good is my truth? My truth means nothing. What if this guy with the gun comes from a planet in a whole different solar system? What we call rain, he calls soap. What we call apples, he calls rain. So what am I supposed to tell him? His name is Frank J. Smallsey, and he comes from St. Louis. He wants to know if it's raining now, at this very minute. Here and now? That's right. Is there such thing as now? Now comes and goes soon as you say it. How can I say it's raining now if your so-called now becomes then as soon as I say it? You said there was no past, present, or future. Only in our verbs. That's the only place we find it. Rain is a noun. Is there rain here, in this precise locality, at whatever time within the next 2 minutes that you choose to respond to the question? If you want to talk about this precise locality while you're in a vehicle that's obviously moving, then I think that's the trouble with this discussion. Just give me an answer, okay, Heinrich? The best I could do is make a guess. Either is it raining or isn't it? I said, exactly, that's my whole point. You'd be guessing. 6 of one, half dozen of the other. But you see, it's raining. You see the sun moving across the sky, but the sun isn't moving across the sky. Or is it Earth turning? I don't accept analogy. You're so sure that's rain. How do you know it's not sulfuric acid from factories across the river? How do you know it's not fallout from a war in China? You want an answer here and now? Can you prove here and now that this stuff is rain? How do I know that what you call rain is really rain? What is rain, anyway? It's the stuff that falls from the sky and gets wet. What you call is what you sorry, and gets what you called wet. I'm not wet. Are you wet? All right, I said. Very good. No, seriously, are you wet? First rate, I told him. A victory for uncertainty, randomness, and chaos. Science finest hour. Be sarcastic. The the sophists and the hair splitters enjoy their finest hour. Go ahead, be sarcastic. I don't care. Heinrich's mother lives in an ashram now. She has taken the name Mother Devi and runs the business end of things. The ashram is located on the outskirts of the former copper-smelling town of Tub, Motana, and now called Dusflummer. Sorry for the pronunciation of that. The unusual rumors around the sexual freedom, sexual slavery, drugs, nudity, mind control, poor hygiene, tax evasion, monkey worship, torture, prolonged and hideous death. I watched him walk through the downpour to the school entrance. He moved with deliberate slowness, taking off his camouflage cap, 10 yards from the doorway. At such moments I find love him with an animal desperation, a need to take him under my coat and crush into my chest. Keep him there, protect him. He seems to bring a danger to him. It collects in the air, follows him from room to room. Babette bakes his favorite cookies. We watch him at his desk, an unpainted table covered with books and magazines. He works well into the night, plotting chess moves in a game he plays by mail with a convict killer in the penitentiary. It was warm and bright in the next day. The students on the hill sat on lawns and dormitory windows, playing their tapes, sunbathing. The air was a reverie of wistful summery things. That last languorous day, a chance to go bare limbed once more, smell the mown clover. I went into the Arts Duplex, our newest building, a winged affair with a facade of abdominalized aluminum seagrass cloud catching on the lower level was the movie theater, a slope, a dark carpeted space with 200 plush seats. I sat in shallow light at the end of the first row and waited for my seniors to arrive. They were all at the Hitler Majors, members of the only class I still taught, Advanced Nazism, 3 hours a week restricted to qualified seniors, a course of studies designated to cultivate historical perspectives, theoretical rigor, and mature insight to the contuing mass appeal of fascist tyranny, with special emphasis on parades, rallies, and uniforms, 3 credits, written reports. Every semester I arranged for a screening of background footage. This consisted of a propaganda films, scenes shot at a party, Congress outtakes from mythical epic featuring parades of gymnasts and mountaineers, a collection I edited into an impressionistic 80-minute documentary. Crowd scenes predominated. Close-up, jostled shots of thousands of people outside of stadium after a gobble speech. People surging, masses bursting through the traffic. Halls hung with swastika banners and monetary wreaths, and the death's head insignia. Racks of thousands of flower beers arrayed before columns of frozen light. 130 aircraft searchlights aimed up at a scene that resembled a geometric longing, the formal notion of some powerful mass desire. There was no narrative voice, only chants, songs, arias, speech, cries, cheers, accusations, shrieks. I got to my feet and took up a position at the front of the theater, middle aisle, facing the entranceway. They came out of the sun in their poplin walk shorts and limited edition t-shirts, in their easy care knits, their polo styling, and rugby stripes. I watched them take their seats. Nothing the schedule and reinvented air, uncertain anticipation. Some had notebooks and pencils, lights, some carried lecture material and bright blinders. There were whispers, rustling paper, the knocking sounds of seats dropping as one of the students settled in. I leaned against the front of the apron, waiting for the last few to enter, for someone to seal the doors against our voluptuous summer day. Soon there was a hush. It was time for me to deliver the introductory remarks. I let the silence deepen for a moment, then clear my arms from the folds of the academic robe in order to gesture freely. When showing ended, some when the showing ended, some asked about the plot to kill Hitler. The discussion moved to plots in general. I found myself saying the assembled heads, all plots tend to move to death ward. This is the nature of plots. Political plots, terrorist plots, lovers plots, narrative plots, plots that are part of children's games. We all edge near death every time we plot. It is like a contract that we all must sign, the plotters as well as those who are the targets of the plot. Is this true? Why did I say it? What does it mean?